Today, we're going to break down the complex neuroscience of how our brains get totally stuck and exactly how we can physically rewire them. So, if you've ever felt like you're caught in a loop of negative thoughts or unbreakable habits, you are absolutely in the right place. What if the person you are today is just a repeated pattern? Seriously, I want you to really think about that for a second. Your fears, your daily habits, your anxiety, even your self-doubt. What if they aren't truly who you are? What if they're literally just biological programs installed into your brain through sheer repetition? Waking up tired, doom scrolling, procrastinating. It might just be software. Okay, here's our roadmap to shift from feeling hopelessly broken to seeing ourselves as completely programmable. We'll cover your programmable brain, the science of neuroplasticity, why change feels so hard, a 30-day rewiring method, and finally, designing your future self. Let's kick things right off with Section 1, your programmable brain. For decades, scientists basically believed that the human brain became fixed and unchangeable after childhood. But wow, modern neuroscience has discovered something truly revolutionary, and it's called neuroplasticity. You know those London taxi drivers? Their brains literally, physically grow larger just to memorize all those complex city streets. It's the brain's ability to physically change its structure based on what you repeatedly think, feel, and do. The person you become in the next 30 days depends entirely on the neural patterns you choose to reinforce today. It is not a metaphor. We are talking about actual physical biology. Let's see how this creates those actual physical changes in our biology in Section 2, the science of neuroplasticity. There's this famous neuroscience axiom you absolutely need to know. Neurons that fire together, wire together. What does this mean for us? It means your automatic personality is quite literally built by your repeated mental and emotional states. If you constantly rehearse fear, your brain physically becomes a master at fear. But if you repeatedly practice confidence, your brain actually strengthens those confidence-related pathways. Every single thought and reaction is a physical building block. Every time you combine a repeated thought, an emotion, and an action, you're building stronger neural pathways. Think of your brain like a massive, dense forest. The very first time you walk a specific path, it's difficult, right? There are branches in the way, it's exhausting, but the more you walk that exact same path, the clearer and stronger it becomes. Eventually, it turns into a paved highway, and the brain just chooses it automatically. This is exactly why overthinking, procrastination, and low self-worth become automatic states. It's not because they are your core identity, it's simply because the brain has practiced walking that path so efficiently. Whatever your brain repeatedly practices, it masters. Which brings us to Section 3, why change feels impossible. Because, if we can change, why is it so incredibly hard? Comparing motivation to the subconscious mind totally explains why motivation alone is a losing game. Motivation is temporary, requires massive energy, and feels deeply uncomfortable. But your subconscious mind? It's permanent, it naturally conserves energy, and it just runs on familiar automatic loops. So when you try to change, say you want to become super disciplined or focused, your old neurowiring heavily resists it. The brain is fundamentally designed to conserve energy, so it interprets the uncertainty of new habits as actual biological danger. Resisting change or falling back into destructive habits isn't a character flaw or weakness, it's literally just biology doing its job. And here is a wild biological truth. The brain values familiarity more than happiness. People unconsciously recreate emotional suffering, go back to toxic relationships, and repeat self-sabotage simply because it's what their brain recognizes. Painful patterns often require way less energy to process than the massive effort required to build a brand new, positive pathway. Your brain literally prefers the misery it knows over the happiness it doesn't. Okay, now that we understand the biological trap, here's the actionable solution. Section 4, the 30-day rewiring method. Here is the step-by-step methodology to actually reprogram your brain for confidence, focus, and discipline over the next 30 days. We aren't relying on temporary motivation or fake positivity here. The steps are: interrupt patterns, create a new identity, use repetition daily, change your environment, and combine emotion with visualization. Let's break these down real quick. First up, you have to become the observer of your mind. Before building new pathways, you absolutely must consciously notice your old ones. Pay attention to your emotional triggers, even your urge to aggressively honk in traffic. Simple awareness immediately weakens unconscious behavior. Most people stay trapped because they never actually observe themselves. So for the next 30 days, remember that not every thought deserves your belief. Just observe them. Once you're observing, you need a new identity. Goal-based thinking says, I want to exercise, but identity-based thinking says, I am becoming someone who values discipline. The brain responds significantly faster to identity than it does to goals. Why? Because the subconscious desperately seeks consistency with who you believe you are. Instead of saying, I want confidence, tell your brain, I am training my brain for confidence. Your actions will naturally align with your identity. This brings us to consistency. Small daily actions plus consistency equals absolute personality transformation. Neuroplasticity demands repetition above all else. Small, repeated actions matter so much more than occasional, massive bursts of motivation. We're talking about basic daily acts, meditating, journaling, visualizing your future self, reducing negative stimulation. The goal here is not perfection. The goal is repetition, because repetition is what installs your new identity. But listen, you cannot build a new identity in a toxic environment. Your phone, social media, your friend group, your environment actually programs your brain more than your own internal motivation does. If your environment constantly feeds you distraction, negativity, and comparison, your brain has no choice but to adapt to that chaos. You have to protect your environment to protect your brain. You have to realize that attention is neurological currency. Whatever you repeatedly focus on in your daily environment, you are physically strengthening in your mind. If you spend your currency on doom scrolling, you buy stronger anxiety pathways. If you spend it on learning and growth, you build stronger pathways for success. You're always paying with your attention. Finally, the secret sauce. Emotion accelerates neuroplasticity. The brain learns so much faster when emotion is involved. Just like elite athletes visualizing success, you can't just visualize your goals mechanically. You must actively feel the confidence, the peace, and the emotional freedom. By combining the mental image of your future with the physical emotion of it, you train your nervous system to accept this future self as a familiar reality. And remember, the subconscious accepts whatever is familiar as real. Let's bring this all together in our final section, designing your future self. Your brain is a reflection of repeated patterns, not a prison. I really want that to sink in for a moment. Right now, literally in this exact moment, as you follow along with this explainer, new neural pathways are being actively strengthened or weakened by every single thought you have. The patterns can change. You are not stuck. Because when you change your brain, you begin changing your reality. Most people wait for their external life to change before they change themselves. But neuroscience reveals the exact opposite truth. The future version of yourself isn't someone you must magically find out there in the world. It's someone you must neurologically train into existence, right inside your own head, starting today. I want to end this explainer by challenging you with this. What patterns are you reinforcing every single day? Starting tonight, honestly ask yourself this. Because your habits are not just casually shaping your behavior. They are physically shaping your brain right this very second. Thank you for diving into this fascinating science with me. Remember, once you reprogram your mind, you hold the power to transform your entire reality. Keep observing, keep repeating those positive steps.
Please like, share, comment, and subscribe this channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.